So continuing on with my reading, I'm moving to Moses chapter 4. How Satan became the devil. He tempts Eve, Adam and Eve fall, and death enters the world. Now there's a lot of stuff in this chapter that is not in Genesis, so pay attention. And I, the Lord God, spake unto Moses, saying, That Satan, whom thou hast commanded in the name of mine only begotten, is the same which was from the beginning. And he came before me, saying, Behold, here am I. Send me. I will be thy son, and I will redeem all mankind, that one soul shall not be lost. And surely I will do it. Wherefore give me thine honor. Now, quick note here. The term honor, in its original meaning, meant authority, power. It's like in the Greek myths. Zeus's honor was the sky. Poseidon's honor was the sea. So here, when Satan is saying, Wherefore give me thine honor, he's not just saying, give me your praise. He's saying, give me your authority. He wants to replace God. But behold, my beloved Son, which was my beloved and chosen from the beginning, said unto me, Father, thy will be done, and the glory be thine forever. Wherefore, because that Satan rebelled against me, and sought to destroy the agency of man, which I, the Lord God, had given him, and also that I should give unto him mine own power, by the power of mine only begotten, I caused that he should be cast down. And he became Satan, yea, even the devil, the father of all lies, to deceive and to blind men, and to lead them captive at his will, even as many as would not hearken unto my voice. So there we have the origin of Satan. His rebellion in heaven was, as they say, to destroy the agency of man, because he claimed nobody would be lost, and the only way to even conceive of that is to prevent choice, prevent the exercise of our agency. Of course, that's impossible, but that's not a discussion for right now. So he wanted to take away the agency of man and to claim the power of God, or the authority of God. And he rebelled for this purpose and was cast out. There's our origin of Satan. Continue on. Now we kind of get to where Genesis picked up. And now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which I, the Lord God, had made. And Satan put it into the heart of the serpent, for he had drawn away many after him. And he sought also to beguile Eve, for he knew not the mind of God, wherefore he sought to destroy the world. So remember, in Genesis, it was just the serpent acting. In this, the serpent is acting on behalf of Satan. He is a follower of Satan. I find that a very interesting note. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And he spake by the mouth of the serpent. So this is Satan's words, but the serpent talking. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. But of the fruit of the tree which thou beholdest in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it became pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make her wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and also gave unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they had been naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of the Lord God as they were walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife went to hide themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the trees of the garden. And I, the Lord God, called unto Adam and said unto him, Where goest thou? Now this is an interesting alteration in the story, just a few minor details. In Genesis, it talks about God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And this is while Adam and Eve were walking in the cool of the day. And I believe in Genesis, it states, "Where art thou?" Let me double check that. Right? Yeah. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, "Where art thou?" This is, "Where goest thou?" Well, that's interesting. That tells us that Adam and Eve weren't hiding. It wasn't that they saw God and jumped in a bush and God started wondering where they were. God already knew where they were. But they still tried to hide. And God's like, "Why are you hiding? Where are you going? You can't hide from me. Come on." Anyways. And he said, "I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I beheld that I was naked, and I hid myself. And I, the Lord God, said unto Adam, Who told thee thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? If so, thou shouldest surely die. And the man said, The woman thou gavest me, and commandest that she should remain with me, she gave me of the fruit of the tree, and I did eat. And I, the Lord God, said unto the woman, What is this thing which thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. I want to just double check here. Okay, there's a nice difference here. In Genesis, when he asks Adam, Adam's reply is, The woman who thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. But here, he says, The woman thou gavest me, and commandest that she should remain with me. See, Adam ate of the fruit, not just because, oh, my wife gave me something to eat, so I ate it. No. He knew that because Eve ate the fruit, she was going to be kicked out. And so he had a choice. Did he obey the command to not eat the fruit, or the command to be with Eve? And that's his justification. He's saying, look, you commanded that Eve stay with me. I had to eat. In order to stay with her, I had to eat the fruit. Very interesting. And as again, I will do a video exclusively talking about Adam and Eve and a few points, but that's an interesting point there. And I, the Lord God, said unto the woman, oh, we already read that. And I, the Lord God, said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou shalt be cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, between thy seed and her seed. And he shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Unto the woman I, the Lord God, said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And unto Adam I, the Lord God, said, Because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the fruit of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it, cursed shall be the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. By the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, until thou shalt return unto the ground, for thou shalt surely die. For out of it wast thou taken, for dust thou wast, and unto dust shalt thou return. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. For thus have I, the Lord God, called the first of all women, which are many. Unto Adam, and also unto his wife, did I, the Lord God, make coats of skins, and clothe them. And I, the Lord God, said unto mine only begotten, Behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now lest he put forth his hand, and partake also of the tree of life, and eat and live forever. Therefore I, the Lord God, will send him forth from the Garden of Eden, to till the ground from whence he was taken. For as I, the Lord God, liveth, even so my words cannot return void. For as they go forth out of my mouth, they must be fulfilled. So I drove out the man, and I placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubim and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. And these are the words which I spake unto my servant Moses, and they are true, even as I will. And I have spoken them unto you. See thou show them unto no man until I command you, except to them that believe. Okay, that last verse again is a parenthetical aside to Joseph Smith. So he translated this in 1830, but I don't think it was first published until the 1840s. So it's basically what we read in Genesis. There is one minor difference I do want to point out. In verse 25, for thou shalt surely die, right? Now let us look back at Genesis briefly on this one verse. Here we are. It says here, till thou return unto the ground, for out of it wast thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. But there's a minor change here, very interesting. For thou shalt surely die, for out of it wast thou taken, for dust thou wast, and unto dust shalt thou return. Minor change there, but I think it's interesting. Genesis says, dust thou art. Moses says, dust thou wast. Kind of a rhyme there even. But he's pointing out that we are not just dust. We are living, breathing souls. But our bodies were formed from the same elements as the earth. And when we die, they decay and return to that kind of elemental state, the base state of elements. But while we are alive, we are far more than dust. We were dust, and we will be again, but we are not currently. And we will leave that here. Oops, sorry, dropped something. And see you in the next one.